Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing okay. I'm not gonna lie, I have been filming for about an hour and it just wasn't happening. And you know what? I'm not even gonna be that much better now. So I'm just gonna make this a very relaxed and I'm going to actually read off my notes. Today, I want to talk about dry mouth. As we know, Sjögren's attacks a lot of things, and one of the main things that we usually notice first is our moisture glands. Sjögren's attacks the lacrimal glands, which are the eye moisture producing glands. Another moisture issue that people with Sjögren's have are the lady parts, the vaginal dryness. And that's something that I am going to do a video on, but I'm going to do it on my Patreon because I just don't feel comfortable talking about it everywhere. One thing that I think helped, though, I will say this, was omega-7, which is buckthorn oil. And I think that's helped with all of my dry symptoms, eyes, mouth, and down there. So it's worth checking it out, guys. I will put a link in the description for you. And I don't get paid or any commission from these links that I always put. I wish I did, that'd be great, but I don't have enough followers. But I'll still put the links because I want you to check them out. And then the other one is, of course, the mouth, the salivary glands. And apparently we have something like 1,000 of them, but 1,000 small ones. And then we have 3 major ones. The 3 main pairs are called parotid, sublingual, and submandibular glands. So the parotid glands are 2 salivary glands that sit just in front of the ears on each side of the face. According to Cleveland Clinic, they're pretty much, their size is a little bit less than your ears. So it's quite big glands. Then there's the sublingual glands, and they are the smallest of the major salivary glands, and they are located under the floor of the mouth, below either side of the tongue, and they are about the size of an almond each. I mean, I don't know if you want to know the sizes, but I think it's kind of interesting. And the other one is the submandibular, and they're located below our chin, and they're the size of a walnut. They all do the same thing, pretty much the same thing. They make saliva. Saliva is your spit. And I think I heard it in an interview that a rheumatologist was saying that healthy people make 1.5 liters of saliva a day, and people with Sjögren's make 500 ml a day. That is a huge difference. So saliva is pretty much part of our biology. When I studied nutrition many years ago, I was really amazed when, I mean, this is a long time ago. I mean, people are a bit more informed now. But I remember when my teacher said that digestion starts with saliva, and how you need your saliva to be able to break down, to help kind of, you chew. So I've said saliva helps aid digestion by lubricating and moisturizing your mouth and throat. Saliva has a lot of few things in it as well. It's got enzymes, it's got proteins, electrolytes, minerals. Did I say that already? Magnesium. It's got quite a few things. Actually, have I written? Yeah. Minerals including sodium, calcium, copper, magnesium, antibacterial compounds, proteins. So, it does have a bit of all these things which are useful. So also it helps you with speaking, chewing, and it balances the acidity in your mouth basically. And I think too much acidity in your mouth is what sort of can cause problems with tooth decay. It also helps with tooth enamel. So if you don't have enough saliva, you will get tooth enamel erosion. Oh yeah, it helps break down food with moisture and enzymes. So as you're chewing, it helps break that down. Helps prevent cavities and gum disease. If you have dry mouth, you can get mouth infections like thrush and other infections. I haven't actually been drinking very much lately. My dry mouth is a lot better than it was when I initially, when I first had dry mouth, it was absolutely awful. I would have, like I made a jug today because I'm not drinking much. So I found some stuff in my fridge. I put some cucumber and some blueberries just to make me want to drink. I'm sorry, I'm having tea because of how all over the place I was today. So I thought that might help my brain. But in fact, I'm just going to add some water to my tea, which I keep doing. So it's not as highly caffeinated because caffeine makes your mouth dry as well. Anyway, you can lose your voice. That's happened to me. I don't know if it's happened to anybody. Also, there have been times where I used to choke on my food. And that's another thing that can happen. And so I learned to make sure that I was drinking enough before I ate, and also I drank while I was eating. Yeah, so it can, it causes tooth decay. Did I say that already? Gum disease, all that. So what can we do to help get more saliva? Stimulate more saliva. So, and also to stimulate more saliva, to keep our mouths lubricated, all these things. First thing is to chew gum, but obviously not gum with sugar, because sugar is going to not help with tooth decay, and we are trying to avoid anything that is going to cause more tooth decay, because let's face it, we're all going to have some forms of deteriorated teeth issues. I don't think we can get out of it unless, unless we are really, really conscious with flossing, using these indent things. I'll put these all lists in and pictures up and all sorts of things, so you can see all the things that you could use and should use. But I mean, doing all those daily, going for dentist checks, having hygiene, seeing a hygienist every few months, being really on top of it will really, really, really help. But sometimes it needs even more than that. Sometimes you need medications. Sometimes, I don't know, with me, a lot of my issues have been fatigue. So when I was really bad, I wouldn't brush my teeth for days. There's no way I could brush my teeth. I couldn't get out of bed, think about brushing my teeth. And then one point where my brain started working a little bit and I realized this is so bad, I got myself some mouthwash. Of course, I just got any old mouthwash, which then dried my mouth even more. So we have to find ones that won't dry your mouth. But yeah, I mean, it's not easy to keep on top of it. And if anybody here has kept on top of it, please leave me a comment. I'd love to see how you're doing it. I will be in awe. I really will be. Okay, so what to do? You chew sugar-free gum. I heard an interview with a rheumatologist who recommended xylitol as the artificial sweetener. She said because not only, gum helps you make saliva, and sugar-free gum is, doesn't bother your teeth, but apparently xylitol has something in it that has some kind of so I only use that as a sweetener in my cooking or anything else. I will put either a picture up right now or a link in the description of the one that I use. And so yeah, gum as well. I put all those down in the description. I mean, obviously avoid sugar as much as you can as well. Or if you have to have sugar, maybe like rinse your mouth after or brush your teeth after if you can. I don't want anyone to feel very restricted. Do whatever you feel comfortable with. Yeah, taking sips of water throughout the day is really important, because sometimes you don't realize, and if your dry mouth is not that severe, you might go throughout the day forgetting to drink some water, and then suddenly at night when you're sleeping, you have such horrible dry mouth and you're thinking, you're waking up feeling awful. When I had very bad dry mouth, I would have about 5 jugs of water in the day. I definitely woke up in the middle of the night needing at least 1 or 2 throughout the night. So it was really bad dry mouth. Now, I think thanks to buckthorn oil, omega-7, I don't get it as badly. I obviously have a lot less saliva than a healthy person, and I obviously have dry mouth. And it comes up at different points. especially if I haven't been hydrated. I need to force myself to have at least 2 of these jugs a day, at least. I mean, you should, even if you don't have Sjögrens, you should have, what is it, 2 liters? If you have warm water, it makes you feel like you've hydrated quicker than if you have cold water. So be aware of that if you're just having hot water, that you might be having less, maybe. Unless you're living somewhere really cold and you just want to keep having hot water to warm up. But do be aware of that too. What else? Oh yeah, and don't drink sparkling water. Or at least know that if you drink sparkling water, that as well, for some reason, causes dry mouth. If you're producing very little saliva or really none at all, then the doctor can prescribe these saliva... Do you know what I was just going to say? I'm not even going to say it. Substitutes. Saliva substitutes. Wow. Yeah, my mother had to have one of her glands actually removed a few years ago, one of her salivary glands. And so she has dry mouth. And for the first couple of years, they gave her the fake saliva. And I mean, she couldn't live without it. And when I got dry mouth, I asked her if I could try hers and see what it was like. It's basically, you feel like basically you're putting spit in your mouth. It is like really disgusting. But if you don't have any spit at all, then it's wonderful, because it's like, hey, I've got some spit in my mouth now, you know? So I was so desperate that I had it for, I don't know, a week or something. And then I just tried everything else because I didn't like it. I didn't like it. So also, I think that, you know, it's something that you have to keep using. It's not that it will make more saliva for you. It's just putting some saliva in your mouth when you don't have any, but it's not like it produces more. And but anyway, it's something good to use if you don't have any. I mean, it's amazing how realistic it is. There's also medication, which I have notes about, which I didn't even get a chance to look at. But one second, let me see, where are my notes? These I had written probably 1.5 years ago. So I have said medication do's and don'ts. Cevimeline is used to treat symptoms of dry mouth in patients with Sjögren's. And then there's pilocarpine, which is the one that I hear of more. And they say that is also used for dry mouth. However, pilocarpine is a non-selective muscarinic agonist, whereas cevimeline, reportedly, according to Science Direct, has a higher affinity for M1 and M3. Okay, long story short, they have figured out that the cevimeline M1 and M3 specifically suggests there will be fewer cardiac and pulmonary side effects. So that's interesting. And both of these can cause blurred vision, great, and sweats. What I'm going to do is actually look this up, because I don't remember this, because obviously I looked this up a long time ago. If anybody is on either one of these, please comment. Please let me know. Do you have side effects? Has it been great? Do they work? I know that I have seen rheumatologists go on about pilocarpine or cevimeline. There we go. It is used to the treatment of dry mouth and Sjögren's syndrome. Does it help with dry eyes? Because I think pilo whatever does. Conclusions. These results indicate that cevimeline 20 milligrams 3 times daily is safe and effective in improving symptoms of dry eyes in patients with SS. So let's do our own research. If I do more research, once I do, I will make another video just about these two. So those are, anyway, some of the medications that the doctors will suggest. And I'm just going to look at these notes I wrote 1 year ago. Oral health, solutions and to-dos. Fluoride, oh yeah. So at least 1,000. And for it to be SLS free, if you have mouth ulcers. So I will put a link down to the toothpaste I use. I ended up doing a little bit of research, and I found a toothpaste which apparently has higher fluoride, and also the main thing is that it doesn't make your mouth dry. So I love using it, especially at night. I think it's called Biotene, and I get it on Amazon, and I'll put a link down below. So here I have said fluoride at least 1,000, SLS free if you have mouth ulcers, Sensodyne full protection. I guess that must be a toothpaste. I do like Sensodyne toothbrushes. I think they're really good. And an electric toothbrush, obviously, because it might get to areas that you can't get with just a normal toothbrush. And also, if we are fatigued, we can just go, you know, rather than. Oh, xylitol gum prevents plaques. There we go. That's what xylitol does. Floss and Interdent brushes, and there are different sizes. What have I got? I've got the 0.5 mil, which I think it's just above the smallest. Drink loads of water. Tooth mousse containing Recaldent. It provides extra protection and buffers plaque. I had forgotten about this. Oh my God, I've got to look into this. If I look into it before this video comes out, I'll put a link below. Another thing is acupuncture stimulates saliva. So if you like acupuncture, ask your acupuncturist. I've said here, see dentists frequently. Find a way to not have to pay for cleaning. That's not going to happen. You got to pay for a hygienist, even if it's NHS. Wishful thinking, Raho. So I have written this whole thing about oral hygiene and what we can do. So I've said, visit a dentist at least 3 times a year to have your teeth examined and cleaned. Okay. At least 3 times a year would be amazing. How often do you guys go to the dentist? Please comment below. Rinse your mouth with water several times a day. Use fluoride toothpaste. Non-foaming toothpaste is less drying. And also, do you guys use a tongue scraper? I've been using one for about a decade. I can't live without it. Once you do that, you just feel like it's good because it gets rid of bacteria, bad breath, and all sorts like that. I'm not sure if it does anything for dry mouth or for teeth, but I guess if it's getting rid of some bacteria, it's helping the mouth. Oh yeah, you can use a fluoride gel at night, because it has fluoride gels have a protective, like it'll have a protective layer, so it helps like the enamel on the teeth. But I know that people have different views on fluoride, and I don't really know. I just know if they're telling me that high fluoride is going to help me not lose my teeth and not have bad gums. I mean, I have gum disease now. So there's a suggestion of toothpaste called Pronamel toothpaste. So yeah, I think that covers it all. There is a couple of things that might be interesting. Is sometimes when, say, there's a lot of heating on, you're in a dry environment and your mouth feels dry. I use this. I actually bought this for my mom many years ago after her operation, and it has somewhere a little tube, so you could do just concentrate on your mouth or your nose with it, or it has this big one, and it's great because all it is, it's really simple. All you do is put water in there, plug it in, and I loved it. I mean, I love it, but I loved it when I was living where I was before at my friend's, because he had the heating on really high and it would get really dry in my room, in my bedroom. This is so easy to use, and now I can't. It's always the way. Sorry. Yeah. So I started using this, and it just felt so good that even when I don't have dry mouth or anything, dry eyes and anything, I decided to start doing facials. I thought, hey, why don't I do facials? This is what like they do at beauty salons. They'll have steam on you first. So I love that. I don't remember where I bought it from. Probably Argus or something. Is that Visic? I'll try to find it, and I'll put a link below. If you got this far, thank you so much. Right now it says 42 minutes and 52 seconds. So I am really going to try and edit it, but I think it's still going to be long. So I'm really sorry. Sending everybody lots of love, and let me know how you're doing with dry mouth. Have a really good, oh, it's going to be Friday tomorrow. So have a lovely weekend. Bye.